Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel once again. Now that's Dialogue. Let me ask you a question. Have you subscribed? If yes, you are doing well. But if no, what are you still waiting for? Please subscribe. Let's build something huge together on this platform. So in our today's video, we'll be talking about scenario question and answers or scenario interview question and answers you might experience or encounter during your interview as a carer. Please note, I'm not saying that because of I'm sharing this scenario question and answer, it must be exact thing you will encounter or experience or something they will ask you. No, I'm not saying that. However, this is something they asked me during my own interview, as well as what they asked my wife during her own interview. So it's just a compilation of the two. And that is why I think it is possible they ask you during your own time. So, but it is not a guarantee that you will experience the same thing. But please note that in most organizations, they will ask you something related to what I'm about to share with you. So, what are the scenario questions? Number one, they might ask you that supposing you go to a supermarket, maybe Tesco, Asda, Aldi, Lidl, and all that, any supermarket here in the UK. Yes, in my subsequent videos, I will also be sharing my experience shopping at all these supermarket with you so that you can learn one or two things, the cheapest one as well as the medium to expensive one. Yes, that will be my subsequent video, not now. But supposing you go to this supermarket and you met a family or friend of someone who is under your care, the person now asks you, how is this so person doing? Is he now feeling better? The last time I came, while he or she was vomiting, it was an awful experience. But how is she doing now? They might ask you. This is a scenario question. Note, this type of scenario question, they are just trying to ask you, how will you be able to keep confidentiality? You know, it's part of nursing ethics. It is believed that you are not supposed to share any patient or any client's secret to whosoever that is asking of it while you are not even on duty. So in this kind of scenario question, they are trying to know whether you will share the secret of that patient or not. So the answer can be, well, I will just tell the family or friend that is asking me that I'm not on duty today. As you can see me, I'm in supermarket with you. So it will be good if you can call the manager who is on duty or the staff who are on duty. Then at this point, they will be able to answer you perfectly or correctly more than what I'll be able to give you now since I'm not on duty. This is a very simple and straightforward answer. With that answer in mind, you know that you save yourself the hassle of telling the family or friend what you don't know. Supposing you say, oh, he's doing fine or she's doing fine, whereas at that particular moment she's still vomiting. Then maybe the family or friend now call the patient once again. I met so, and he told me that you are doing fine. But the patient now say, no, I'm still vomiting. I'm not doing fine yet. How will you be able to defend such case? So in that case, referring the family or friend to the manager or the nurses who are on duty, you save yourself the stress of telling what you don't know. So it is logical. That's scenario question number one. Now, scenario question number two. They may also ask you that supposing you are having a bad day at work. Yes, maybe you even go to a client or a patient room, the client sent you off, you are just experiencing awful things that particular day. Now you are just waiting patiently for your time to reach so that you can just clock out. Now, as your time, as you just hand over to the other nurse who are on duty, who are to take over from you, as you are just handing over, then you hear emergency buzzer ringing. What are you going to do? So also this type of scenario question, they are trying to check your patience and how you can monitor or you can withstand pressure. So what are the things you are supposed to do? Remember, they told you that you've already clocked out. So naturally, you are no longer on duty. But now this is an emergency. What are you going to do? How can you manage the pressure? And remember, they also said you are having a bad day. You are just patiently waiting for the time to reach so that you can just close for the day. But what are you going to do in this type of situation? Yes, the answer should be, well, my primary assignment is to give care to whosoever need it, irrespective of the day I'm having. Either I'm having a good day or I'm having a bad day. My primary assignment is to give care. I just have to forget the type of day I'm having, either good or bad. At this moment, the care of that patient, even though he has once rejected my care, his or her care is the most important thing at that particular moment. And at this period, I just have to render any assistance within my power. So I have to go there to monitor the situation, even though I'm no longer on duty. The fact that I am still at the premises shows that I'm still under some obligations to assist the organization. And these are the little ways that I can render assistance for the organization by caring for those who need the care. And not only that, it is my primary assignment, my duty to do so. So I will make sure that I go there with the staff who are on duty so that we can attend to the patient. And not only that, the only thing that I know that I may not be able to do is to make decisions. Since there are other staff on duty, I will subject the decision making for that staff who has taken over from me, so that at the end of the day, I won't make any decision for someone who is on duty, so that it won't look as if I am underestimating the staff. I will make sure the staff make some decision for him or herself, but not only that, any help whatsoever that I can render, I will make sure that I do it. So in this type of situation, you are letting the organization or the interviewer know that irrespective of the situation, either you are having a good day, you are having a bad day, then definitely the most important thing is to render care. This is your primary assignment working in the care home. So you provide it irrespective of your experience for the day. And once you know that, then you will be able to move on irrespective of how the patient are treating you. So scenario question number 3, they might also ask you that supposing you go to a patient's room, and this patient perhaps is the first week in the care home, or maybe not even the first week. They might even say this patient is suffering from dementia. And as you are just getting into the room, the patient sent you out. Now get out of my room. What are you going to do? Remember, although the question is of two situations. Number one is that the patient is just the first week this is the first week of the patient in the care home, or the patient might even be there for a long time but is having dementia. So these two situations are alike, and the reason is that, first of all, a patient who is just there for the first week, you have to know that the patient will be going through transitional period in the sense that he is not used to someone strange taking care of him or her. He's not used to someone whom he don't even know the person yet. And at the end of the day, how will he be able to trust that person? So that is the transitional period. And the second situation is that the patient is even having dementia. Yes, as you may know, dementia is a kind of mental disorder, the ability not to reason well and to forget things quickly, even when you have been told or when they explain the things to you in the best way they can, you can easily forget it. That is dementia for you. So remember, these are the two situations they ask you. So how are you going to manage it? Once again, this is a scenario question asking you how will you be able to withstand pressure and any kind of bad situation that you might experience while at work. So in this type of scenario question, how are you going to answer it? You can say, yes, I understand that the patient during his first few months at the care home, he or she is undergoing the transitional period, and at this period it is not always easy. So I have to be as flexible as possible so that at the end of the day, I won't be harsh on the patient. The transitional period the patient is going through is not an easy one. So this will prompt me to be able to come to the patient level and to always be in his own or her interest. So in that case, I will make sure that there is nothing like sharp object the patient can use to injure him or herself, and I will also make sure that the little safety precaution that I can take in place before leaving the room, I will make sure that I take such precaution. However, I have to know that the patient is entitled to the type of care he or she want to get from a carer. So I cannot subject the patient to a compulsory care. No, I cannot do that. I cannot make sure that by force I have to take care of the patient. Nevertheless, I can just report the situation to the manager who is on duty or the nurse or the other staff. Then I will also make sure that I gather some other informations, perhaps from the staff who know the patient very well than me, or from the relative. So having gotten such information, it will help me to be able to take proper care of the patient. So with that, you let them know that it's not that when the patient sends you away, you cannot make it by force to take care of the patient. Nevertheless, you will try for as much as possible to make sure that the patient is having a safe environment. So having all these things in mind, we enable the patient not to be able to injure him or herself. Nevertheless, you subject the patient to his own decision to make. After all, the fact that he is sick or he is having mental disorder doesn't mean that he cannot take a kind of decision for himself. He's still having feelings. So you have to respect the feelings and you have to respect his or her own opinion. So telling the interviewer such answers like this, they will know that definitely you know what you are doing, and of course you know how to withstand pressure. These are the little scenario questions that I will be sharing with you. Nevertheless, I want you to know that there are two questions that comes out almost in every interview. And these questions include number one, is always even number one questions. Yes, I've done so many interviews, so also my wife, and I realized that these two questions comes out oftentimes. And the number one question is, tell me about yourself. So number one question, tell me about yourself. They want to know you. Every organization want to know whom they are employing. So you have to tell them about yourself. And while telling them about yourself, always make sure that you tell them, number one, whom you are, why you want to work with them, and the reasons you think the role is befitting or is a perfect match for what you want. So having all this in mind, you'll be able to answer the question perfectly. And the last question is always, do you have any question? Yes, at this particular time, don't ask too much question. You don't need to ask How about this? How about that? In fact, if it is left to me, I will say narrow all your questions to maybe 2 or 3 questions. And when asking the such questions, make sure that they are most relevant questions. Perhaps question like, is there any program to further your career? Is there anything they will want you to do while working with them? What they will want you to focus on? So with that, they will see you are seeing yourself as if you are even working with them already. So they will also know that, okay, this person know what he or she is doing. But asking them too many questions might make them tired, and you might just be lost at the end of the day. So these are the little questions and answers we'll be sharing in our today's video. Do you enjoy it? Are you satisfied with the question and answer? Once again, please note, I'm not saying that you will definitely encounter the question during your interview. But believe me, these are things that they are asking people. I've done so many interviews, like I told you. My wife also has done so many interviews. So at the end of the day, you will know what they will be asking you. These are the scenario questions that you might encounter. So please, if you know that you have not subscribed, once again, kindly subscribe. I'm begging you at this point. Kindly subscribe, share, and like the video. May God bless you as you are doing all these things. And until our next video, when we'll be seeing again, I say one love.